Jordon Trayvon Williams, born December 5th, 1999, officially known by a name I can't say until about 30 seconds into this video, wasn't your typical artist. He was a raw and unfiltered ball of energy, a whisper from another dimension, a presence that demanded attention but never sought it. And just as quickly as he arrived, he was gone. Often said to be the Temu version of XXXTENTACION, one of many quote-unquote clones that rode the wave X created, Jordon was much more than that, with his initial goal to expand the trend X created and pave another lane entirely. But unfortunately, like many other Atlanta rappers, his life was cut short in a freak accident. An accident that actually raises much more questions than it could ever answer. This is the disturbing case of SluttySonny.
For nearly a couple of hours at this point here, a sheriff's inmate transport bus.
The CHP says all lanes remain blocked there while this accident is investigated.
Jordon grew up in Atlanta, Georgia, being raised by his loving mother, Cheryl Jackson, and a distant father. It is said that his father was a rolling stone, so to speak, fathering many children. Although it's unclear whether or not this rumor is actually true. Those who knew Jordon growing up described him as a quiet and introspective person, one who found solace in music and art. Although Sonny would later reflect and proclaim his younger self as a loser, even getting it tatted on his face, but with the S overlapped with a V as an indicator of what he had always felt on the inside.
Still loser lover shit. It's basically like, alright, so before I was basically seen as like a loser type, but like on the inside I was like a lover.
Which is something I can actually relate to. It's interesting how our own judgment so often holds us back from truly embracing ourselves. It's also interesting that despite Sonny's feelings about himself, it didn't slow him down from achieving his own dreams. Because once he got into music in 2014, he instantly dedicated his entire being to making his dreams a reality, drawing inspirations from artists like X, Father, Travis Scott, and Denzel Curry. Sonny would begin to experiment with his music and sound, eventually getting into contact with fellow artists like Desmond Negre and Kamikaze Kay.
We met on Kick, and then we decided to like we had the same interests, so we decided to like meet one day.
Sonny would also change his rap name to... More specifically, he added the infamous first half of his stage name.
Basically, this was like a whole troll name before, I think 2016 or whatever. I had a friend that also raps named Icy Tamir, and he said that I should like replace that as my new rap name, because my rap name was Sonny before, but there was already like a bunch of Sonnys out. I basically looked it up on the internet to see what would pop up, and just straight pop up, so I was like, bet.
It's said that the Sonny part of his name is inspired by the rapper Father, and the first half is because of all the girls he's... It was around this time that Zodiac Society, ZSF, was formed. Sonny and the group would go hard and drop music pretty consistently, with Sonny locking in and promoting his content on all platforms. Despite the constant hate from many of his classmates at school, he persevered and refined his sound while completing his education. The main thing people were saying was that he was copying X. His music wasn't good, and he would never make it in the music industry. Which, honestly guys, this is the stuff that comes with chasing your dreams. You think when Playboi Carti first started rapping, people were messing with his music? No. They were saying he sounded like insert whatever artist, and that he would never make it. The hard truth is, people will never believe in you until you defy their expectations. And that's exactly what Sonny did. The group Zodiac Society, ZSF, would slim down over time and become more refined and focused. This improved version would become Vampire Cult, this time with members being Sonny, Little Gloom, Desmond Negre, Kamikaze Kay, Elijah Pierce, and Pikachu Tears. During this time, Sonny decided to take up a temporary job at a local hibachi restaurant. This was mostly to appease his mom and give her the confidence that he was still on the normal and good track of life, attempting to juggle school, music, and early adulthood. Sonny didn't last very long at hibachi, and eventually he basically just put all of his cards into music. Right after graduating high school, Sonny would drop a bunch of great tracks like Winter to Snow, Mega Man, and Caution, and eventually even his breakout records Blind Date and Arachnid, which both came from his first official project, Life of Arachnid and Butterfly, the EP. This was the breakout Sonny was looking for over 4 years. And over the next year, he would build a devoted cult following, join the 3 AM movement, get acquainted with artists like Tokyo's Revenge, and make a name for himself in the underground scene. With many listeners initially comparing him to XXXTENTACION, partly because of internet outlets like Blackie Speaks, although he did later apologize to Sonny directly for this. And mostly because Sonny quite literally sounded like X. And I don't just mean music-wise, I mean...
I'm hard side, and it's the black heart side. And I've got my heart broken 2 times. So that's why the 2 hearts are right here.
It's almost as if they had the same voice box. Not to mention the hair, face tats, similar style of music, both artists having a no eyebrow look at a certain point, etc, etc. To be clear, I'm not saying that Sonny was exactly like X, though obviously inspired by him. Sonny even went to X's memorial in 2018 and drew attention from onlookers because of his style.
When did it stop blowing up? When did you start like seeing a bunch of traction on your shit?
It was after the X memorial. Hella people was coming up to me and they were taking pictures and shit. So, yeah.
That's wild. What were they saying?
They came up to me and then they were like, can I get a picture? And then they asked if I rap. They basically like asked for my Instagram and stuff.
So it's clear even Sonny himself knew how similar they both were. And although he hated the comparisons, he took it in stride while he continued to push his career. For anyone who actually took the time to listen to Sonny's music, they would very quickly see how unique Sonny truly was. Life would continue to get better and better for Sonny. His shows would ramp up, his plays would ramp up as well. He dropped Teen in January 2019, and both Rebellion and Jupiter Plus in October that same year. These projects would really show his range as an artist and add to his already cult-like following. By all means, everything was going great for him in his career. However, his friend Desmond the Gray would become a father, and in 2019, he and Elijah Pierce would leave Vampire Cult, stating that Sonny and Kay were becoming too demonic. Kay felt like the rest of Vampire Cult was against him and Sonny, although admitting that he and Sonny were indeed on a dark path. He refused to elaborate more on what that actually means.
Everyone, even in Vampire Cult, was against me and Jordon because we were going down a dark path, but I don't want to disclose too much about it.
Some people made note that Kay actually had some troubling rumors circling on the internet, with him possibly hurting animals and even touching younger humans. But honestly, I'm not going to go down that rabbit hole, as this video would definitely get demonetized if I do. And really, this video is about Sonny, his life, and what happened to him. Speaking of which, this is the part in the story where Sonny actually died. Let's lay down some of the groundwork. Sonny and his longtime girlfriend Dinah would actually break up, and then shortly afterwards, he would make the decision to go to Cali. Unfortunately, this action would prove fatal, as he ended up losing his life just 5 months after doing this. Mind you, his friend Tokyo in the 444 movement has a home in Cali, although the relationship between Tokyo and Sonny is kind of unclear, because apparently Tokyo was sneak dissing Sonny every now and then for like literally no reason. I don't know. This is coming from Kay, so yeah. Apparently Tokyo and Sonny would always make up, but also this doesn't help the rumors that floated around after Sonny's demise. More on that later. Sonny asked Kamikaze Kay to go to Cali with him.
I said I wasn't ready to go over there in an environment like that, so he ended up taking Lil Gloom with him.
Sonny briefly stayed with the 999 mob in Cali before moving into the 444 house, which is pretty cool. Didn't know that he was associated with them. This is where things were going well, but then over time his demeanor started to really change. He became more quiet on the phone and less energetic overall. Apparently, there was even this thing where he was getting charged for studio time over there, which is pretty normal, but depending on the situation, it could be seen as a very valid complaint. Most underground artists have a home setup for recording most of their music. They only really use professional setups for important singles and albums. Studios aren't cheap, and without having a deal, it's a pretty large expense. Seriously, like, it takes a lot of money to record good music. Mind you, Sonny is not signed. Any money he's making is strictly off of his shows and what little he's scraping by from streaming, which isn't a lot. And apparently, he only did a couple shows in Cali over the 5 months he was staying there, so money was pretty tight. The idea was that Sonny was over there to clout farm, network, and build money to purchase an RV for Vampire Cult. He's not actually in 444. He's just the homie. Here he is in a 444 group interview where viewers would actually note he was pretty quiet on camera and much less energetic than everybody else. Kamikaze Kay would state that Sonny was determined to get back home, which makes the circumstances around his death even more unsettling. So now it's time to go over how he died exactly. I want to be as detailed as YouTube's TOS allows when going over this, but it is still pretty graphic in nature, so if you want to skip this part, go here. 3 days before he went missing, Tokyo would say that Sonny looked off.
He looked like he was going through some mental stuff. He just looked distraught, kind of. I've known him for years, and I know what his mental health battle is like. He knows what mine is like. 3 days before he disappeared, he looked like, I don't know, he looked like he was going through it.
But he didn't know the details. Over the years Tokyo knew Sonny, he knew that whenever he was having these issues, Sonny liked to take walks to clear his head, but noting he wasn't actually home the day Sonny went missing. August the 31st of 2020, or rather late night Sunday, August the 30th, Sonny would go on one of these walks. It's 3:20 a.m. on Interstate 5, the Golden State Freeway. This is a death zone for pedestrians at any time of the day, but especially in the dead of night, when most drivers are either half asleep or flying down the highway at breakneck speeds. Sonny was walking along this interstate, closest to Osborne Street in the Arleta area. Why he was there, on foot, is a question that still lingers in the minds of everyone who knows this story. This wasn't some quiet back road. This was a highway. 6 lanes of relentless traffic. A place no one casually strolls through. But there he was, walking alone. He's not on the shoulder. He's not on an exit ramp. He's in the middle of the freeway, walking in the number 2 lane, where cars and trucks are tearing through the night at 70, maybe 80 miles per hour. And then, impact. A county transport bus slams into him at full speed. The impact is devastating. Unlike a regular car, a bus is massive. It doesn't just hit a person, it annihilates them. The force alone would have done things much too graphic to explain here, likely causing massive blunt force trauma, breaking ribs, vertebrae, and even his skull on contact. The sheer weight of the bus means that even if he had somehow survived the initial hit, the aftermath was beyond any hope. But the nightmare doesn't end there. Even if he could get the help that he needed, it was much too dangerous a situation for anyone to actually go out there and help him. And really, it would only be mere seconds before more vehicles would hit him. Remember, cars are still racing through the freeway, and they just can't stop in time. Most people at this point don't even understand what they are running over. Sonny's body was unrecognizable. And to make matters even worse, his friends at the 444 house had no idea this happened. Sonny never turned back up, which was very unusual for him, so they eventually put out a missing persons report and began to put up flyers to help find him. But still, even with all of this effort, it would take over a week for Sonny's body to be identified. What the freeway had done to him, had it not been for his clothes and his tattoos, he would have never been recognized. So many people had so many questions at this point. Was he disoriented? Was he running from something or someone? Was there foul play? Did he walk into traffic intentionally? These are all questions that remained unanswered, as police never bothered actually looking into his case. We don't know who was last seen with him, much less any significant information about that day, which is extremely unusual for any death. much less a very popular musician. Because of this, fans started to draw up their own conclusions. Some criticized the response Tokyo had for Sonny, some even straight up blamed Tokyo for Sonny's death, claiming he literally murdered him and used him for some type of satanic sacrifice ritual. Noting the outro used on one of Tokyo's songs of a man screaming in pain and what sounds like tires burning rubber at the end, and a cover art with a tree that has a design in it looking like a dismembered person. Although the rumors of Sonny being dismembered seem to be all over the place and never confirmed to be true. Everything we know points to his body being fully intact. Some people thought this was ridiculous. It is. They even had an even more ridiculous conclusion that Tokyo actually had Sonny because he knew Tokyo was talking to younger humans, with the reason being Tokyo did this to avoid the scandal getting out. Others thought Sonny must have been on some kind of substance to do what he did, which again is not true, and most just took the news as it was given, that Sonny likely wandered off on his own free will. Fans would create the page SluttySonny Investigation to try and put together the pieces. It features much of the information I had already noted. Also, I would like to point out this guy also died. His name was Claiborne, and his death went down almost exactly how X's did.
Temeka Claiborne is doing her best. Her son Jalen was shot and killed last year.
Me being his mother, I hurt the worst.
Police say in September 2020, two teenagers tried to rob Jalen and a friend. Investigators say Jalen tried to wrestle the gun away, was shot in the process, and died.
Yeah, he went there to live at Tokyo's house, and it was just strange. All that is strange. I'm not gonna assume anything or point any fingers, because I don't know the truth on like what actually happened. I do know he was trying to get back home though.
This is more than fair, and to be honest, a lot of these theories are completely ridiculous. I understand why they were made, but this doesn't give anyone the excuse to literally blame Sonny's friends for his death. Imagine losing a homie and repeatedly getting blamed for their death. It's really fucked up. And even Sonny's mother is cool with the people in 444, and she actually has access to his autopsy. So she knows way more than any of us will likely ever know, and that should tell you a lot. Kamikaze Kay claims he has been handling all of Sonny's posthumous work, with the help of Sonny's mother, even putting together the album Exploited Teen, which released in 2023. Apparently, he even paid for the animation on the Brawlhalla music video as well, consistently putting in the effort to continue Sonny's legacy. Unfortunately, claiming nobody else aside from Sonny's mother is really putting in the effort to help with this mission. Sonny's mother has filed court papers against Los Angeles County, pushing for a wrongful death and negligence lawsuit, alleging that Deputy Jose Mario Barrera was driving at an unsafe and dangerous speed. It's unclear what came from this lawsuit, but one thing is for certain. Sonny's mother has not stopped fighting for justice and pushing for accountability. His fans have rallied behind her, launching petitions, spreading awareness, and keeping his name alive. His music still plays, his messages still resonate, and whether or not the full truth ever comes out, one thing is for certain. His story isn't over. Because when you leave behind energy as raw and powerful and as cryptic as Sonny did, you don't just disappear.
But anyways, that's it. Goodbye.
Thank you for watching. If you haven't already, consider becoming an ally of evil by hitting that subscribe button and smashing that like button down below. Don't forget to sign up to my mailing list if you want consistent video updates, and click the video at the end if you'd like to watch more evil content. And peace.